guys, it's Jordan.
And Emma Grace.
Welcome
to
Those Two Chicks with a podcast. This week for you guys, we just have a short little episode, something we want to do every month that we are calling What the Fuck Tales. Now, What the Fuck Tales, they could be funny, they could not be, they might be paranormal, conspiracy, folklore, we don't know. It's just stories we found that made us go, what the fuck? Alright, Emma's gonna go first this week.
Okay, so my first story for you is about spontaneous human combustion.
Do you know I genuinely used to be scared of that when I was little?
Are you kidding?
No! I'm scared. How do you know what's gonna happen? I'm just gonna explode into a pile of goop. I don't know.
I have a story from a book called Mystic Michigander.
Okay.
That's where I found this. I thought,
That's sweet.
I gotta read this.
Okay.
The definition of it, though, is instances when a human, either living or recently dead, seems to burst into flames without an external source of ignition. It is argued that spontaneous human combustion can be caused by an individual's behavior and habits, such as alcohol consumption, inner mechanisms of the body. But it's so fascinating. And it's so sad. I feel like that's an awful way to die.
It's not real, though, right?
They don't know. Like, there's no evidence to really say, yes, this is true.
Okay, but has anyone spontaneously combusted in the last 100 years where people are paying attention? Shut the fuck up. She's nodding. No.
Although it has never been proven, they have been linked to around 200 incidents.
Don't give me another thing I'm going to be scared of, and I've got to talk to my therapist about.
Well, you need to.
Oh.
Because, well, actually, just, if you can sit there and just Google it and find all these stories of people that have just combusted. But it's so odd.
Okay.
Like, you wouldn't know. Like, you would look at this and go, wait, what? That's what happens if you see these people. Because I'll explain. Okay.
I don't know. I just feel like now when I'm going to have sensory overload, I'm going to think I'm going to spontaneously combust. I'm going to think that's what's happening because that's what it feels like in my head. It really? Okay,
so here's a story.
Okay.
On December 13th, 1959, a man named William Peterson of Pontiac, Michigan, recent. It's 2022. 1959.
Usually you hear about these in like the 1500s.
Oh, I think there's some like early.
Yeah.
History. He was a victim of what some considered spontaneous human combustion. Peterson was found inside his garage sitting in his car. His left arm was badly burnt, as was his nose, mouth, ears, and groin area.
No, someone did that to
However, Peterson's clothing and hair were unscorched and undamaged in a fire that was so hot it burnt part of his body to a crisp and melted a plastic religious statue on his dashboard.
Oh, demons.
So he... we solved
demons.
It. There you go. Not unsolved
They
anymore.
usually make it like a religious thing.
Right, but it gets better. Reporters from the Detroit Free Press were baffled as to how the burns took place. The next day, the Free Press reported that Peterson may have been tortured with fire, had his clothes placed back on, and then been in the car to die of carbon monoxide poisoning. But even the police rejected this theory.
Wait, so they said they think someone burned him, put clothes on him, and he wasn't dead yet. And then put him in the car.
Yeah.
The car was running.
Yeah, so they think someone did this to him, but the police said no.
Wouldn't his skin, like, sloof off? Trying to get him undressed if he was that burnt.
Right.
And
so they're like, no, they can't.
You gotta be real fucked up if you getting skin flakies on you to change the clothes. That's silly.
Well, exactly. Like if I was...
Gross.
You have to think about just think about the facts of that.
It's just weird. Okay.
That just
seems more plausible than spontaneous combustion.
Oh, it gets better. Okay. The coroner at Pontiac General Hospital believed that Peterson committed suicide and that the burns resulted from the exhaust pipe being connected to the front seat. However, tests run by other coroners seem to indicate that would have been impossible, since only certain body parts were burnt and the heat had been at such high intensity that it melted that statue on the dashboard. Right. So not to mention that the gas tank was not even ignited in the intense heat.
And the car wasn't burnt.
Exactly. So these factors caused some to believe that Peterson was a victim of spontaneous human combustion. And it has been linked to about 200 incidents.
Shut
But
up.
there was another case I didn't obviously look up because I don't have it in front of me.
Okay.
But she was found like in her chair, dead, obviously. But like it was like your blood is like boiling and stuff.
Yeah, they're always like bubbling or goopy.
Right, and then they said like she had like a cigarette or whatever, but it wasn't linked to anything. Like it would have been impossible because like her foot was still attached, but the rest of her body was still like just completely burnt. But like her like one of her feet were completely untouched. But how does that happen? Your whole body burns up except your foot.
Right.
Like, I mean, don't quote me on that. I didn't really do a lot.
Was the chair burnt too?
I don't think so.
Because that's the weird part to me is that they're there, but nothing else is burnt around them.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
I know.
All right, well, add that to my list of things
Seriously.
I'm concerned about.
You know, I understand that, but like, I was always concerned about sinkholes.
Like, you get sucked into one?
Yeah. There was that one person that was in Florida, and remember?
Yeah, but
their
crazy
bed?
shit happens in Florida.
Sure, but they're like, their bed got sucked through the hole.
Oh, don't.
But that was the sad part because they were like, he's probably still alive.
Yes.
But they couldn't reach him, so it's like, I guess you just gotta die.
That's horrible.
Okay, I think that's my biggest fear is like, people are like, well, because there's your news reporters like, a man died today, and you'd be like,
oh
hello?
No, that's fucked up. I'm still here.
I'm still alive.
That'd be horrible. That's
I don't know.
sad.
It is so sad.
That is really sad.
But I just thought it was really sad. But I don't think they know really what happened to him.
Ah, that's so. What was his name?
William Peterson.
I'm looking it up. I'm gonna read about it.
Yeah, 1959.
We need to have an episode fully on spontaneous combustion to get to the bottom of this.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
We're gonna solve it.
All right, write that down.
You know.
Okay, so my first story is a bit of an urban legend. Well, do you want to hear? Well, they're both urban legends. Do you want to hear the short, funny one first, or the longer one? That's not really funny, but it made me laugh.
I want the short, funny.
You want the short, funny one?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'm not going to tell you the title of it because it kind of gives part of it away. No, I'm going to tell you. It's called it's called The Slap Ghost. Okay. All right. It's not that
Before you start,
funny,
I apologize to any of the listeners that are picking up that apparently someone outside my house is snowblowing.
Yes. We're in Michigan. What do you expect?
So if you're like, what is that in the background? Don't worry about it.
Could be a fart. Could be a snowplow. We don't know. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So, I don't have a location for this one.
All right.
But, and this is a story that I got off Reddit by user HypresQ. I don't know if
I love these.
I don't know.
Reddit
Usernames are the best. So this is from Reddit. It's called The Slap Ghost. In a village close by, there's a story that on a specific road through the woods, several guys were being slapped when they passed on a bicycle in the late 70s. Just slapped off their bikes. Always at night.
Oh.
Okay. And one of those guys happened to be this person's grandfather. Okay.
Okay.
He was not alone. Or I'm sorry, he was alone. And was slapped and fell off his bicycle. And no one was there. Several people came home full of bruises, scratches, and just other injuries from the fall from their bicycles after the slap to the face. I mean, this bitch would slap them in the face. Right off their bike.
But pretty hard then.
Oh, hard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
if you're
for sure.
falling off your bike.
Suddenly, the slaps did stop for a few years. It wasn't... Have you got anybody part yet?
I just imagine like this is a town.
No one can figure it out. But it did stop. And it didn't come back until the 80s. And it suddenly just happened. A young guy was slapped in the face in the same spot. But the mystery was solved that day. Because this was in the daytime that this happened. Usually it's at night.
Oh, okay.
Okay. It was a fucking branch from a tree.
Oh my god!
It's something that plagued their town. And they couldn't figure it out. For years. And the old guys from the 70s were coming home late from an old bar, completely drunk. Including this person's grandfather. And without any source of light, they would get hit by the branch and fall. And then the tree was trimmed. And the slap stopped until it grew back.
Right. I feel like this is something that would happen to us.
I know.
Or like, this is haunted.
I know. But luckily the victim in the 80s was sober and relaxed with
Oh,
it.
okay.
So that, they solved the mystery of the slap ghost. But I don't know, it just cracked me up because I'm like, that's something What happened to me?
Like
This bull slapped me. No, bitch, it was a tree. That was a fucking tree. Quit drinking so much wine. You don't need 2 bottles.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Okay, so that was my short one.
Okay.
I knew you would like that one. That's
that
why
one's
I gotta
good.
tell Emma.
That one's good.
Even Lucas chuckled when I told him that.
You little chortled.
He was like, that's about as much.
That's how you know it's good.
Yeah. That's what I got from him.
My husband's kind of like the silent laugh too.
Oh, yeah.
Except when something's super, super funny,
Yeah.
he goes like a, aha, and he claps.
I don't even know my husband's laugh really fast.
That's so sad.
I think he laughs a lot, but he's a very quiet guy.
Mm.
And I feel like he'd be like, sometimes he sounds like Seth Rogen. I'll say that, because I'll be like, how does Seth Rogen laugh? I just can't think of it. He'd be like, I don't know. Something like that.
It's a very like throaty
It's
laugh.
very
yeah.
Something like that. I don't know. Okay, anyway. Okay.
Okay.
So you got another one?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's from Cedar Lake, Michigan.
Okay.
And it's called Two-Story Outhouse.
Okay.
And they call it the double-decker dumper.
Ooh, it's a 2-story outhouse? Ew. So, like, someone be pooping like, on top, like, I don't know why it makes me think of, like, a porta potty, like a double.
Well, it's an outhouse.
Yes.
So.
But that's what I'm.
But that's why I'm so confused, because outhouses usually were like a hole in the ground. I thought.
So that's why I'm like, you better be like, watch out below, and their hole connects to your hole.
Like a compartment. But what if it like leaked through?
Maybe they have like a tunnel, and it tunnels like piping. They do piping. Maybe.
Sure.
No one's doing piping in the outhouse. All right. Anyway.
Okay. A standalone multi-story outhouse is an odd sight to encounter. And one that raises the question, why the second floor? Various tales surround the origin of the historic 2-story outhouse in Cedar Lake, Michigan.
Is Cedar Lake small?
I think
They're
so.
running out of things to talk about? They're making an outhouse? Okay.
The 2-story outhouse has 8 separate areas to do your business.
Oh, it's
so
huge.
4 on each floor. Again, we saw the problem. How does that work?
Now it's even more confusing.
Yeah. There are 2 different explanations, though.
Okay.
So there's not like a... The first is that this unique outhouse was once connected to a hotel or boarding house built in 1875, but the building was sadly lost to a fire. According to this theory, a footbridge once provided easy access from both floors of the establishment to its multi-level.
So it wasn't like connected, because I'm like, how would the one burn down without the other?
Right.
It was a
right.
bridge. Okay.
The photos are hilarious, though.
Oh, I gotta here. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, no, it's really funny.
What's it called?
2-story out. The double-decker dumper.
Dumper. I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah, do the 2-story outhouse, Cedar Lake, Michigan. But it's just odd, and you're going like, how was that? But think of it, 1875. If that's the year they're going
nice
with.
Looking.
Yeah, you're like, I would use that.
I mean, there's no way to get to the top floor, but
Not anymore.
okay.
This is the second story.
Okay.
It's that the original owner, a man named William Nelson, was looking out.
Nelson?
Yeah.
Okay.
Was looking out for the privacy of his wife and 7 daughters.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, it gets better. Hoping to keep the women separate from the lumberjacks and other customers at his general store on the first level.
So they got to shit on the other people's heads.
On the lumberjacks. He built a 2-story outhouse with the top level access by a walkway from the second floor of the house. Whichever story is accurate, the fact remains that this towering toilet is a local icon that draws visitors to Cedar Lake.
Beautiful.
It has been restored and reconstructed over the years, and the property has been cleaned up.
Oh, okay.
But I thought I'd just add this little tidbit.
Is it haunted?
No.
Oh.
But if you Google this,
yeah,
they have a 4.2 star review.
What?
So I thought I'd read some of the reviews to you.
Yes.
There's only 13 reviews, by the way. It wasn't not that popular.
Lots.
It actually, for a 2-story toilet, there's
a lot
13 reviews.
I didn't even think it would be on Google.
This local icon. The double-decker dumper.
All right.
Someone left 1 star. That's because I wanted the upstairs one.
Oh, can you poop in it?
Because someone said this. They left a 2-star. Kind of cool, but you couldn't see inside of it. And
I drove 4 hours to shit in the double-decker dumper, and I couldn't. 1 star.
Yeah, I think it's just like, then someone said 4 stars, beautiful area to walk. That one cracks me. Like, they're like,
beautiful.
Oh, you know where I love to take my afternoon strolls? Around that double-decker dumper. It's a local icon.
So historical.
But many 5-star reviews.
Really?
It's just a historic building. It's like, look at that 2-story toilet.
They should put a museum in that.
They really should. But I want to know how it functioned.
Yes, I was hoping you would tell me, because now I'm going to think about it
I don't know.
day.
I wish I had the answer.
I'm going to think about this all day.
But
if anyone knows, write into our email.
Seriously, like, how does that even work? If you're on the upper floor, like, you're screwed in the bottom.
Yeah, I would only go to the upper. Okay. Have a good one. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. I feel smarter just knowing these little stories.
I know. Now you can go around and be like, hey, what? Did you know that Michigan has a 2-story outhouse?
It's pretty crazy. Okay, so I am going to read you guys a story. It's from the website Legend Trip Through Monroe Weekly. Weebly. It's a Weebly website. Oh, sorry. Okay. And this is the story of Dog Lady Island. If you've had the pleasure of growing up in the floral city of Monroe, Michigan, it is more than likely that you've come across the legend of Dog Lady Island. Like many legends, there are numerous versions, given that it's been passed down for many generations, and it's inevitable that the legend would not be altered slightly. So, as you exit Interstate 75, approximately 15 miles across the Ohio border, there is catalogs and records and ancestry databases for this island. It's going to be on Fox Island. The owners of the island built a large home meant to be utilized as a religious retreat for young women. But later on, the island was later purchased by the Cosler family in the late 1800s, and they decided to rename it Cosler Island and occupied the home that was originally built on it. The family, as many did, moved into town in the 1930s. So they left. Okay. The island was bought and sold several times over the decades. One owner built a communal type housing unit, and a few people moved in. One individual started a pig farm on the island. Another started a garbage dump. I don't know why these facts are important. I'm reading the article. I don't know.
Like, I would love a pig farm. A garbage dump.
It smells lovely on that island.
Seriously.
It does.
It should be an air freshener scent.
And it seemed as though anything that was new that started on the island, it would come to an end. And community never really thrived there.
Okay.
And everyone moved away except for the first couple that moved there. In 1961, the mansion, which I don't know when the mansion came into this. That might be the house. This article doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But it had a gas leak and it burned to the ground. Shortly thereafter, the husband of the original couple passed away, leaving an old woman to live on the island alone in the communal building. Completely alone and isolated except for her lot of wild dogs. So everyone else has moved away.
Okay.
The big house that was first built burned down.
Right.
And then the husband died.
That's impressive that they were the two of them were by themselves that long.
Yes, they were there by themselves for a while, and he died
with the pig pen.
They couldn't thrive, so they left. She don't even got a pig pen. They probably just left the smelly stuff with them. So teenagers, obviously notorious for becoming bored easily and hence getting into trouble as a result.
Sure.
They were looking for an outlet, and that was the infamous island, because I guess it was pretty easy to get to. So in the 60s, it became the local party spot for mischievous kids. And, the Monroe adolescents referred to the site as Dog Lady Island.
Oh.
Because it was just the old lady and her dogs, which I think is kind of sad.
It's sad.
It's a little sad. But this is the decade, the 1960s, that the legend of Dog Lady Island is said to have come alive. Okay? So it was those crazy hippie kids on drugs in the 60s that came up with this. Yeah. What was the most unnerving part about the island was the almost always present pair of deep-set glowing eyes that would eerily peer out from the shrubbery as the teens were gathered around their campfires drinking and smoking.
From the shrubbery.
Shrubbery. It was peek from the shrubbery. This is a weird article. But it should just be eyes. Then they wouldn't think anything of it. They're just like, oh, there's that fucking creepy lady. We just still be partying. Like, Okay, Barb.
Your
Give her a different name. Okay, Betsy, stay over there. Okay. Described her as wild-looking, ancient, wearing distressed clothing, always in the presence of her pack of feral dogs.
How many dogs did she have?
A lot.
Okay.
The mysterious woman obviously became known as the dog lady, and the legend only expanded and became more detailed as the teens continued to come into contact with
Wait, you
her.
may have said this. Where did the dogs come from?
She just
Did she
had them.
always have them?
I think she had some, and then it said there was wild dogs there.
And she tamed them?
I don't know. Are there wild dogs back in the 60s?
Sure.
Were there? There's an island. How'd they get there?
That's why I'm confused.
Okay. Doesn't. Did I say the story makes sense? No, it doesn't. So just sit back and enjoy it. So they're just there.
Okay.
Teenagers are making this shit up, so
Sure.
obviously holes in it. Okay. It is said that the woman once lived on the island with her husband, but after his passing, she became introverted and possibly crazed. Most say she began to have more in common with her snarling dogs than she did with the human race. This is sad. Almost entirely dehumanized, she ran on all fours. Viciously, yeah, she was naked, running on all fours.
Sounds like a dream to me.
I know. Wild and free. She would viciously tear at the flesh of dead animals.
Oh.
And tugging at carcasses with her pack of mutts. She probably stank, too.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there. This island is not.
That should be an air freshener.
Some teen dog lady. Some teens swore she growled at them and jumped at them if they were simply a piece of meat to be gnawed on. That is until she lost her tongue.
From what?
From her dogs. They tore it out.
Oh!
Because she was fighting over a dead carcass with them. They tore out her tongue. Now, here's where I was reading this story and I was just like, what is this? Because this is a crazy lady, right?
Uh-huh.
Running around with wild dogs.
Yeah.
But apparently she had a telephone.
What?
Apparently she had a working telephone. Because a few knew of a secret number, and when they dialed it, it would be answered. It would be answered by an outburst of unsettling growls.
She had a phone?
So stupid.
I was like feeling really sorry for her.
Dehumanized, but she has a working phone that she just answers anytime you call.
Right. And growls at you.
And just go, there really was a phone number that circulated the area that people would call. And this is where it's kind of sad. And if you called it, supposedly the dog lady herself would answer. Teens would call the number just to hear a poor old woman who fell subject to the fun.
Aww.
Who couldn't lucidly say the word hello.
Oh.
That's kind of sad.
That is really
I
sad.
know. So one article from the Monroe Evening News in 2006 includes an interview with Dr. Daniel Campora, an English professor and folklorist. That's a hard word. Try to say that.
Folklorist.
Folklorist.
Folklorist. Maybe don't go into that possession.
Profession.
What do you do?
We said possession.
Oh.
Don't you check on it for me. I'm gonna come right back. Okay. Whatever. He was at the University of Toledo. And he says he learned of the legend in 1978. An old woman did live on the island years ago. And after her husband died, she surrounded herself with many Doberman pinschers, which are scary dogs. Scare me. The dogs were there to protect her, but one day they turned on her and ripped out her tongue, leaving her incapable of speech and partially blind, and she became known as the dog lady. So this was a real woman who was left alone, injured by her dogs, and people just called her the dog lady.
And she didn't want to leave the island?
I guess not. Understandably, she became reclusive and liked it that way, so she developed...
Oh, okay.
This is where it kind of gets funny. I don't know. Maybe I'm horrible for laughing at this. But she developed a habit of jumping onto cars with anyone who dared to park near the island. And then it goes on to say that she was later murdered by members of a motorcycle gang.
What? That took a turn.
I know!
Like, it's sad, but
What
like,
the
what?
fuck? And gang members became the new occupants of the island, and they allegedly kept the dog lady's body in a coffin on the island.
Oh.
And there's stories that continue today of her haunting the island.
Well, sure.
And some say she can only grunt, and she sounds like a dog, and even eats off the ground with them. And that's the end.
What? Like, that just took such a turn. I was so invested in, like, the pig farm and, community. And then she gets murdered by a gang?
And I was reading it, and I was like, okay, this could be a legit, like, a folklore story. This could be really good. And then
it took a turn.
I was going, what the fuck? Seriously, because I was like, okay, so it was, because then it was like, okay, it was a real person, so I didn't expect, like, any crazy thing to be happening with a real person. No, right. She had her tongue ripped out and then murdered by a motorcycle gang. Where'd the gang come from?
But you know what, out of all this?
What?
She had a phone.
She had a phone!
Why? How did she get reception out there?
And I was like, you know when you're just laying there on your phone and you kind of like got the double chin because you're like laying back, and I just saw it and I went, you know, like the double chin, because I was like,
but imagine if this story now, like everything you just said, but like take place now. Oh, yeah. Like she's on TikTok. Yeah. She's like running on all fours.
But she makes videos. That makes no sense. Like,
but I have a phone.
Makes no sense.
No,
because
that one's odd.
You're telling me she would never order a pizza or anything like that? She had a phone. She's just gonna fucking eat the dead carcasses on the floor. But she has a phone. But she's civilized enough to use the phone.
Now I really want to know what her husband was like. I know we don't really know much about him, but it's like...
And it's weird because the story is like in the 1800s, but then they're like, oh yeah, it was 1960 and she was still alive. Which I guess could be possible, but like...
I totally forgot about that part.
It makes no sense. It doesn't make sense. So
teenagers.
That was my one that I just kind of, the article made me cry.
This is really off topic.
Yeah.
But I saw this online.
Okay.
You think about it. But why did you finish your story?
Okay.
You're saying like teenagers like to get into stuff?
Yes.
Do you remember when we were in high school? Okay, we went to the movie theater. Whatever movie. And you're like, we should stop at Arby's and get cheese sticks. Okay. So you and I are sitting in a movie theater. Well, just maybe 2 weeks ago, I saw that the people were like, yes, we have cameras that face the audience. Oh, no. And I'm just thinking they're seeing you at Arby's cheese sticks.
Bitch, I just snuck a cake into a movie theater. Oh, okay.
That's
were you there?
I think
you were there for the cake one.
For the cake? I'm just thinking.
My husband and I just the other day went to that Spider-Man movie and we almost snuck Taco Bell.
But they have cameras. That face. But sometimes you're taking
just bringing out a whole KFC bucket of chicken.
And they can see you the whole time.
I did sneak in candy. I always sneak shit in the movie theater.
Well, it's expensive.
Yeah, I spent a lot of money at Walmart on candy too, though, so I just feel like I should just stop. I can't believe that shit. We did. Dude, Arby's has the best mozzarella sticks in the world.
They are very good.
They're really fucking good.
Oh, this is a good question. Are you like mozzarella sticks or the cheese curds? What are you on?
Okay, it really depends on where you're at.
Oh, for sure.
So what restaurant?
Well, okay, I think like Culver's is like really...
Culver's cheese curds, yes, hands down. But I had cheese curds from Applebee's the other day. Horrible. But Applebee's has great mozzarella sticks.
I don't remember their mozzarella sticks.
They're really good.
You actually know who has really good cheese curds?
Who?
Dairy Queen.
I've never gotten food from a Dairy Queen.
You should.
It's
like really good. Like surprisingly.
Yes. Have you? Okay. If you ever come over to my house, we're getting this pizza place that's in Battle Creek, and they have Wisconsin cheese curd like breadsticks.
Ooh.
Oh my god! And they pair it with like a dill pickle dip.
Oh.
It's like a ranch pickle dip. It's oh my god. It's good. We got way. It's lunchtime. I'm hungry. Let us know what's the weirdest thing you guys have ever snuck into a movie theater.
Seriously.
That's a good one.
I want to know.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys for listening. Check back on Tuesday. We will have another episode for you. And thank you for listening.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.